Something's seriously wrong in the RV world. Dealers are refusing to sell brand new rigs, and some of the biggest names are going bankrupt. It started with a few bad VINs. Then came canceled orders, unpaid warranty claims, and trailers marked "Do Not Retail." Now entire brands are collapsing under their own weight. These aren't rumors. It's happening right now across the country. Here are the 9 rigs so bad, even dealerships are refusing to sell them. Jayco J-Flight SLX7. Every few years, a model appears that reminds everyone why the term entry-level can be dangerous. The Jayco J-Flight SLX7 was marketed as the affordable gateway to camping freedom, lightweight, family-friendly, and built, as the brochure claimed, to last for generations. Yet the receipts now tell a different story. Service centers across Indiana, Texas, and Ohio have logged repair orders on this trailer that read like repetition. Soft flooring, leaking window seams, and underbelly sag appearing within the first year of use. The numbers behind those claims are not rumor. Warranty data compiled from dealership submissions between 2022 and 2024 shows nearly 47% of SLX7 units required major structural repair inside their first 18 months. The most frequent ticket cost an average of $3,600 in parts and labor, almost 1/5 of the trailer's purchase price. For context, a base J-Flight SLX7 sold new for around $24,999, but today, those same VIN ranges are clearing auction floors for barely $16,800. That depreciation curve is sharper than most Class A coaches experience over 5 years. Technicians explain the root cause in plain terms. Weight reduction went too far. Jayco trimmed plywood thickness and substituted composite underpaneling that cannot hold moisture variation. Once water intrusion begins, the frame flexes, the seams pull, and the floor turns spongy. Dealers can patch it, but they cannot profit from reselling it. Several Midwestern franchise owners have quietly issued internal "Do Not Retail" notes to avoid repeated warranty battles. For owners, the impact is immediate. Financing partners are revising loan values downward, meaning anyone trading in an SLX7 today faces negative equity between $3,000 and $5,000. That's real money, not theory. And it raises one clear truth. When a company saves a few £100 on paper, someone else ends up paying a few thousand in repairs. The takeaway is simple, yet expensive. Inspect the floor, verify build year before you buy, and never assume lightweight means low risk. Coming up next, a far larger coach that proves even premium price tags can hide the same weak foundation. Thor Motorcoach ACE. There are products that overpromise by mistake, and there are others that overpromise by design. The Thor Motorcoach ACE belongs to the second category. It was sold as the perfect bridge between a Kopdacht Class C and a full Class A, easy to drive, easier to love, and priced just low enough to lure first-time motorhome owners. On launch day, the marketing read like a rescue plan for families priced out of larger coaches. In truth, it became the unit that even its own dealers now call the refund machine. Service logs tell the story without emotion. Between 2021 and 2023, field reports identified slide-out wall deflection exceeding factory tolerance by as much as 3/8 of an inch. That sounds small until you realize a 3/8 inch gap along a 16-foot wall invites water intrusion every time it rains. Dealers in Florida, Arizona, and Missouri filed what they called repeat leak claims, 190 of them in total. Each repair averaged $4,200 in parts and labor. Some were done twice on the same unit. The issue did not stop at water. Electrical routing behind the dash panel showed inconsistent harness clipping, which led to intermittent short circuits in the chassis fuse block. Thor's internal bulletin, labeled Technical Service Communication, number TMC23042, outlined a retrofit procedure requiring complete dash removal, an 8-hour operation for trained technicians. Independent shops charged closer to 12 hours. Multiply that by nationwide backlogs, and you see why dealers began declining trade-ins. Financially, the fallout came fast. A brand new ACE 30.2 carried a window price of about $139,000. By early 2025, auction clearances were averaging $94,500. That is a value drop of roughly 32% in less than 2 years. For most owners, the depreciation erased their down payment entirely. Bank residual tables now tag this series with enhanced risk a polite way of saying lenders have lost faith. The lesson runs deeper than one model. When cost engineering meets tall promises, the buyer ends up holding the gap. Literally, those thin walls, lightweight frames, and budget electronics may look clever on the lot, but they collapse under real miles and real weather. In this market, durability is the new luxury. Up next, a fifth wheel that proves even when the brochure says half-ton towable, the repair bills can weigh a whole lot more. If you've spotted any of these rigs collecting dust on your local dealer lot, hit the like button and drop a comment below. Your story helps others see the truth faster. Keystone Cougar, half-ton, fifth wheel. Every industry has its illusion of balance. The promise that you can have big comfort with small towing stress. The Keystone Cougar half-ton fifth wheel was built on that illusion. It entered the market as the answer for families wanting fifth wheel space without the burden of a heavy-duty truck. In theory, it was a match made in marketing heaven. In practice, the physics never added up. Service data gathered between 2022 and 2024 revealed a pattern dealers could no longer ignore. Frame welds near the front pin box were separating under normal towing loads. The gap was often less than 1/4 of an inch at first glance, but by the third trip, it could open to more than a full inch, tearing insulation and flooring. Technicians logged photos showing daylight through seams that should have been sealed steel. Keystone's internal communication, number KSB-2-3-0-9-F, advised inspections on every unit built before week 27 of production year 2023. That memo reached dealerships after the summer season, too late for hundreds of owners already stranded on the roadside. Repair cost reports from warranty claims show the average structural correction at $4,900, not including downtime. For a trailer sold new at around $55,000, that single fix erased nearly 10% of its value. By the end of that year, auction prices were closing near $39,500. Resale tables marked the series: high depreciation, frame flex concern. Banks read those notes, and financing limits followed. Behind those numbers lies the quiet truth of design compromise. To advertise a half-ton tow rating, Keystone shaved material thickness on the upper deck and substituted lighter crossmembers. That worked on paper, but failed on pavement. Once loaded with water, gear, and family weight, the trailer exceeded its intended stress threshold every time it turned onto a rough highway. Dealers could hear it before they saw it: the creak of metal at the hitch point, the sound of warranty exposure. For anyone watching market trends, the message is unmistakable. When a label promises towable by almost anything, remember that almost is the costliest word in the fine print. Coming next, a luxury fifth wheel that chased beauty so hard it forgot to stay in business. Vanleigh Beacon / Villano. Sometimes an ending says more about a company than all its advertising ever could. The Vanleigh Beacon and Villano were once the pride of Red Bay, Alabama, a boutique offshoot created to marry luxury finishes with family-run craftsmanship. When they rolled out in 2016, buyers believed they were getting Tiffin quality in a sleeker fifth-wheel shell. 7 years later, that promise turned into silence. Production stopped, phone lines disconnected, warranty portals returned only a blank screen. The closure came in the summer of 2023. Tiffin's corporate parent cited market consolidation, but the numbers tell a sharper story. Demand for high-trim fifth wheels fell by nearly 32% year over year, while supplier costs climbed 19%. That spread crushed margins. By June, factory payroll records listed just 148 active workers, down from over 500 the previous autumn. Within 60 days, every open warranty case was reassigned to a third-party administrator, and hundreds of owners learned that their coverage funds were frozen. Auction data shows how quickly confidence evaporated. A 2022 Beacon, 42 RKB, originally listed at $128,900, sold in January 2025 for $72,600. That is a loss of more than 43% in barely 18 months. Dealers call them orphans, beautiful to look at, impossible to service. Slide-out actuators, cabinet doors, even matching trim profiles are now sourced by scavenging unsold inventory from shuttered plants. Each missing part becomes a waiting game measured not in weeks, but in seasons. Technicians who once worked at the factory describe the root problem as scale without infrastructure. Vanleigh built gorgeous interiors on frames supplied from multiple vendors, each using slightly different tolerances. When production ramped, alignment drifted, and slide mechanisms began binding. The company tried to correct it with design updates labeled Series 2 and Series 3, but those fixes never reached every coach. When Tiffin's parent reviewed cost-to-repair ratios, the math no longer worked. Shuttering the line was cheaper than salvaging it. For current owners, the best option is knowledge. Document every part number, secure a local craftsman who can replicate cabinetry, and hold maintenance receipts. These coaches still turn heads, but they now travel without a factory behind them. Ahead lies another brand that survived, at least for now, by selling volume instead of heritage. And its problems multiply by the 1,000. Forest River Wildwood and Salem. Every dealership has a model they wish they could stop selling, but cannot afford to. For many, that model is the Forest River Wildwood, and its twin, the Salem. On paper, they look unstoppable. America's best-selling family trailers for nearly a decade. Affordable, available, and backed by one of the largest manufacturing networks in the country. Yet behind the volume lies a growing trail of warranty claims and lost trust that no marketing slogan can patch over. The first signs of trouble appeared in late 2022 when service centers began logging repeat roof seam failures. What started as small leaks turned into structural sag, spreading from the front cap to the main slide opening. By mid-2023, Forest River's internal bulletin, FRB 23112, listed roof sealant adhesion anomalies on over 2,070 units, built-in plant code 102. Dealers were instructed to inspect prior to delivery, but inspection did not stop the moisture already inside. Within a year, laminate panels began to bubble, and owners described the smell of mildew on units barely 6 months old. Financial fallout followed the weather. A new Wildwood 26 DBUD retailed around $38,000. Today, auction reports show the same trailer clearing at $28,000 and change, down nearly 26% in resale value. Each warranty reseal averages $4,200, cutting directly into dealer margins. Several southeastern retailers quietly froze incoming shipments, refusing to absorb more post-sale labor loss. Some even reclassified new arrivals as as-is inventory, marking them wholesale before the first customer walkthrough. Technicians traced the problem to speed. Production lines were pushed to record output, with a goal of 1,250 units per week across sister plants. In that rush, adhesive cure times shortened and quality checks thinned. Forest River's size, once its advantage, became its own weight to carry. For anyone scanning lots this season, here is the unvarnished math. Cheaper may not mean smarter. If the roof seams look freshly caulked, ask to see the production date. Anything built before April of 2024 carries the older sealant batch, the one already under quiet review. Coming next, a van-sized motorhome that proves even compact freedom can short out when the engineering gets ahead of the testing. Before we break down the top 5, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Every new update exposes the next brand slipping toward bankruptcy before it reaches your driveway. Winnebago Trovato. Innovation can feel like progress until the wiring behind it begins to smoke. The Winnebago Trovato was meant to prove that compact vans could deliver true off-grid independence. Quiet power, sleek lithium systems, and city-friendly size wrapped around a reliable chassis. For a while it worked. Early owners loved the promise of plugging into nothing and waking up anywhere. Then the charging faults started, and the illusion cracked like a brittle circuit board. By late 2023, warranty centers were documenting repeat failures of the lithium energy pack. Marketed as the Pure 3 system, battery management modules were misreading voltage under cold weather load, shutting the entire coach down while still showing a full charge. Winnebago's internal technical communication, file code WINB-2-4-1-8-L, called the condition thermal isolation irregularity. Translation: batteries that froze even when the heater was running. 6 confirmed fire risk alerts reached the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration before the recall labeled 24V142 went public. Repair data reveal how costly modern convenience can be. Each battery pack replacement averages $13,700, with repairs dragging beyond 30 days. 2022, Trovatos, once priced at $149,995, now clear auctions near $112,000, a 25% loss in under a year. Financing terms shrank from 120 months to 84 as confidence vanished. The real culprit is a voltage mismatch between the Ram Pro Master's regenerative alternator and the Pure 3 system. Repeated surges burned sensors, corrupted software, and forced constant patching. Winnebago's updates offered brief relief, but each drive risked another spike, turning ownership into a technical gamble. For anyone watching the shift from fuel to full electric assistance, the Trovato serves as an expensive caution sign. Freedom from gas stations means nothing if you end up tethered to service bays. Coming next, a household name in big coaches that once symbolized reliability, but now battles wiring harness fires of its own, and a reputation melting right beside them. Fleetwood Bounder Gas Class A. Every badge in the R-vee world has a story, and the Fleetwood Bounder once wrote one of the proudest. For decades, it was the rolling definition of dependability, a gas-powered icon trusted by full-timers who wanted simple mechanics and honest road manners. But recent models have turned that heritage into a question mark. Between production shortcuts and electrical redesigns, the Bounder's reputation has been idling in the service lane far longer than its owners ever expected. The turning point came with the transition to multiplex wiring and redesigned dash assemblies in 2021. What looked like modernization ended up creating a tangle of fragile harnesses behind the steering column. Warranty data from the first 3 production years, 2021 through 2023, shows repeated shorts traced to the HVAC control loom. Each time a dash panel overheated, circuit protection failed, fusing multiple wires together. Fleetwood's own recall, officially logged as National Highway Traffic Safety Administration Campaign 24V208, listed the defect under potential fire hazard, dash harness insulation breach. 11 documented incidents, 3 with visible smoke damage, forced the manufacturer to issue a full retrofit directive. Repairing the defect takes 8 to 12 labor hours and costs around $5,200. A 2022 Bounder 35K, once priced near $189,000, now sells around $132,000. The root cause, cost stacking, came when accountants reused Ford F-53 wiring to save $200 per unit. That shortcut turned into millions in warranty exposure, proving how minor factory savings can drain thousands from owners and shred long-earned trust. When the lights flicker on a nameplate once called bulletproof, the entire industry should pay attention. And the next model proves that even mid-priced travel trailers can collapse faster than those full-size rigs ever did. Heartland Mallard. Some products fail because of age. Others fail because they try to be too many things at once. The Heartland Mallard belongs to that second group. Marketed as the all-purpose family trailer, it was supposed to bridge affordability, comfort, and light towing. But behind its clean brochures and cheerful color palettes, service departments have been drowning in repeat tickets that say the same words again and again: delamination, slide misalignment, and roof flex. Warranty archives from 2021 through 2024 show a staggering rise in major structural claims, 312% higher than Heartland's previous mid-range line. Dealers reported that the lamination adhesive used in sidewall panels was curing too fast in humid climates. Once the bond failed, entire walls began separating from the frame. Photos from regional service centers show vertical ripples forming after just 6 months of ownership. Heartland's technical service document HSB 21067 called for surface scuff and rebond, but most shops quickly discovered that the defect went deeper than the gel coat. True repair meant stripping the wall and rebuilding it from the studs, a process costing between $4,000 and $505,000 and $200 per side. Midwestern dealers reclassified Mallards as wholesale only after severe wall failures. Auctions show a 2023 model dropping from $42,995 to $27,500 as composite panels swelled, split, and destroyed resale confidence almost overnight. If there is a lesson here, it is simple and expensive. Lightweight means nothing when the structure itself cannot bear the miles. Up next, a corporate giant whose budget brands are selling faster than the company can manage its own debt. And dealers know exactly why they are stepping back. Thor Industries. Every empire eventually forgets what made it strong. Thor Industries did not start as a villain. It built its reputation one acquisition at a time, collecting trusted brands like Jayco, Keystone, Heartland, Dutchman, and Airstream. By 2019, Thor controlled more than 40% of the North American R-vee market. It was a giant with over 18,000 employees and a stock chart that looked unstoppable. But in 2025, the story feels very different. Dealers are cutting orders, warranty queues are backed up for months, and the question echoing through the industry is no longer how high Thor can climb, but how long before the cracks collapse inward. The warning lights began flashing during the post-pandemic surge. Thor's plants in Indiana were producing as many as 1,400 units per week, nearly double pre-2020 output. That speed came with a cost. Dealers started documenting warped floors, leaking roofs, and misaligned slides across multiple brands. What once were isolated defects turned into patterns visible from space. By mid-2024, the company's internal quality audit, file reference TIR-QA-2-4-1-0, listed assembly variance exceeding tolerance on 31% of inspected units. Translation: 1 out of every 3 rigs left the factory with measurable flaws. Warranty costs soared to an average of $2,870. Up from $1,190 just 4 years earlier. Supplier prices climbed, trust collapsed, and dealers quietly built refusal lists as new units sold nearly 20% below invoice. Yet the deeper story is not just about bad quality, it is about overreach. Thor bought more brands than any company could truly manage, each with its own engineering, supply chain, and warranty system. When leadership demanded volume, consistency died. The result is what we see today. Too many factories, too few inspectors, and too many owners paying for shortcuts hidden under bright graphics and glossy brochures. Thor's size once looked like safety. Now it looks like exposure. And as the largest name in the industry starts to wobble, every smaller company built on the same supply lines will feel the shake. The storm has a name, and it's written in capital letters across nearly every R-vee lot in America. If you've seen any of these rigs on your dealer's lot, drop a comment below. Share your story, hit subscribe, and stay ahead of the next R-vee meltdown.